welcome, welcome, welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Willie Yeagers, and today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, EM. So, lots of people have this misconception that Eren Miko is not done properly. And this misconception, this perspective change, is what causes a lot of problems when you're talking about Attack on Titan. Great example. And again, spoiler for the manga. I probably said it every video, but it's spoiler for the manga, so please, if you have not read the manga, do yourself a favor and watch this later, because the manga ending is great and I don't want to spoil it for you. But anyway, that being aside, the battle on Earth. People misinterpret what it is. Their perspective going into it is wrong. So it comes out wrong. It's like a heuristic. They're setting up the discipline for themselves. So they go into the battle, they think, okay, this is gonna be a great high stakes battle between Eren and the Alliance. And that's not actually what it is. Same thing with Mikasa's character. Mikasa should be a well-developed, multi-dimensional character, so they go into it, and then of course they're disappointed, not realizing what their actual purpose is. And then finally, for Eren Mika, they think it's supposed to be, your traditional love story. Maybe something more akin to Gabby and Falco. So they go into it, and they're like, "Oh, this is not what it's supposed to be." Therefore, they think it's a bad ship. However, I hope in this video to not only share to you the proper perspective for Eren and Mika, but also, I probably should stop saying Eren and Mika. I probably should say the Eren and Mikasa's relationship. And I'm also going to explain to you why it's a great story choice and why it's great for Eren's character. Now, I will be expounding on this more in my Eren character analysis, so don't say, "Oh, I watched this video," so no. It's going to be a lot more than Eren character analysis, so stay tuned for that as well. So, starting off, people say there wasn't much signs. Eren didn't really appreciate Mikasa or like Mikasa or reciprocate the feelings towards Mikasa until the very end. And they use that as a criticism. That is actually wrong. That's exactly how it should be. I liken Eren and Mika to a dying plant. That's why there's a plant from me. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a plant. It's a dying plant. Now the seeds are planted, right? They grew, but they weren't watered. Did I just use a transatlantic accent? They weren't watered, so the plant ended up dying, right? Now, if you were to look at a dead plant, right, in a sense, that plant is not there, you could say. If it's, like sort of like if a person's dead, is he there? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not there in a sense. But in another sense, the plant was most certainly there, and is in a sense still there, and more importantly, was there. Now, there's a running theme in AOT about not realizing what you have until it's gone. And this is from, you can see this in Amitaboo explicitly. Amitaboo talks about this in 153, Lady Amitaboo. And we see this over and over again. Erwin with, I think her name was Maria, Keith, right? Marlowe, remember, and I love to point this out because no one has any controversy about Marlowe. Marlowe, in his last moments, thinks about Hitch. Now, we have never seen Marlowe care about Hitch at all, ever, anywhere, in any way, shape, or form. But why does he think about her in the end? Well, it's the running theme, right? He had something that he lost. He didn't realize what it was until it was too late. One of the best examples of this, and if you know, talking about the debate with Saint Chief, you would know what I'm talking about. It is the moment where Grisha embraces Zeke, right? Now, if you were to look at Zeke and Grisha's relationship from what you see in season 4, you would not see any inkling of love. If I were to say, this guy loves this guy, you wouldn't believe me. Now, and they're father and son, right? So you're just coming in there expecting there to be love. It's already programmed in, it's presupposed to be love to her. But even so, you're like, he obviously isn't showing much love to him, right? And this is, since the Grisha thing is politically neutral, since the Marlowe thing is politically neutral, no one argues about it. So what I'd like to do is I would like for you to just transfer those principles into Eren and Mika. Let me continue. So, when Grisha embraces Zeke and says, "I should have played with you more, yada yada yada, I love you," right? That love was always there. The problem is that he didn't water it. He didn't water it. So it didn't foster, it didn't show. It was there, in a sense, but it was dying, it was dead. And then when he got a chance to reflect on his life with Eren and whatnot, then he understood what it really was. And then that dying love that was hidden was released. And that's why a lot of people give me flack for using it in the debate. But that is why I use it. And I can use many examples because this theme is hammered into you over and over and over again. So Annie's father, right? No one says that it's strange that Annie's father just out of nowhere flipped a switch. He was cruel to her, he was mean to her, he was using her, and then all of a sudden when she's about to go, then he's like, "Oh shoot, I actually love this little girl." But you wouldn't notice that because his goals, and this is the theme, his goals were interrupting that, and so it constricted. It's like, I probably should use a boa constrictor for this, but it constricts the love and it died out. So that's exactly what happened with Grisha. He was consumed with his goals, it constricted his love, and it killed it, strangled it, killed it. So with Eren, he is the ultimate version of this. Those are all the little examples to prop it up. Eren is the ultimate version of this because both Eren and Mikasa are the protagonist. So Eren, having this beautiful inside and out, loyal woman who is willing to love him and wants to be loved by him, constantly rebuffing her. Why is he rebuffing her? Because he's consumed not with rage. See, this is an important distinction. Not with rage, but with bitterness. And that continues, and so then he cannot accept the love that Mikasa has, and he rebuffs it. So the love is there. He always loved her. We know that he loves her from the moment he met her. Chapter 50, yada 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 yada. He loves her. The problem is that his goals were getting in the way of that. And then in 139, or more appropriately 131, he realizes, because remember, I need you guys to remember something. In 131. That's the moment he realizes that his freedom is vain. Remember that. So, and we see the frown. He's a kid. You know, I'll explain more in my Eren character analysis. You know the deal. So that's when he realizes his freedom is vain. So this entire time, he was fighting for this freedom that was unattainable. Now, again, I'll talk about this more in my Eren character analysis. But just put simply, there's his people's freedom and his personal freedom. Those are some of the reasons why he did the rumbling. And so, since one of those, the personal freedom, was not obtained. That is when he realized he could have obtained personal freedom from his love with Mikasa. Mikasa could have provided him with that. You see where I'm going with this now. So in that sense, that is why he never really reciprocates the feelings towards Mikasa until the end. It's going with that theme of regretting what you could have had. So since he was uncontent and since he was bitter the entire time, and he said this, I think it was chapter 72, he says it in Return to Gigantia, that he did not have the same dream that Armin had, and he gave up on that, and he resigned himself to hatred and anger. But this entire time, Mikasa can provide an out for that, a comfort for that. Again, I'm not talking about the geopolitical situation. That's a completely separate issue to me, because there's two things going on. There's his personal freedom, and then there's the freedom for Paradis. Now again, both of those in many ways run parallel to each other, but this is a time where it doesn't, okay? So, Eren's put in a predicament here, and just like Grisha was, just like everyone else, Paradis was, Mr. Lionheart, yada yada yada. There's something bad happening, and there's two consequences, two parts to that. The first part is the real consequences, right, of his freedom being taken away and morally oppression, right? People are getting lynched, there's no meat, he's trapped inside the walls, yada yada yada. That's the real effect. Those are the real consequences. Then there's the emotional consequences. He feels angry, he feels bitter, he feels trapped, whatever. And that part of it, that's why I say there's two parts to this. That part of it could have been solved, and he could have, this is how Armin's phrase character, could have felt happy and content while working on the real consequences. You see how that works. So that's why Armin's phrase character, and that's why Eren, since he let that bitterness, the emotional side, consume him and become bigger and bigger, that is why he's one of the least free characters, you see. And so having that relationship with Mikasa could have made that part infinitely better. He could have been happy and free in that way. Again, I'm not saying he's completely free or yada yada yada. Again, watch the analysis for that. All I'm saying is that that part of it could have been taken care of by Mikasa, and he could have felt happy by Mikasa's love, you see. And so, Eren, due to the consequences of his own actions, realizes that he cannot indulge in this love of Mikasa, even now he just realized that he wants to. So when he wants to, it's already too late. Because he wants to after 131, right? Because 131 is when the 139 conversation happens. That's when we realize, oh, this is actually a bad idea. This is actually not going to bring the person what happens. This is why he's depicted with his eyes closed at the end of 131. Okay. And so, Mikasa will provide a brief from that. And so, with your perspective change, I hope that now you view it, the relationship is actually done perfectly. There's actually nothing wrong with it. It's done just how it should be. You get little hints here and there. It's obvious he loves her. He has affection for her. Looking back, retrospectively, of course. But he never fully indulges. He never really gets there. Kind of like how 139 is right before 140, which is supposed to symbolize a sense of personal freedom. Yes, that's true. Look it up. Personal freedom. He stops just short. So that is why he never seals the deal. And thus, when you look at it that way, now it's a warning and a lesson to the reader. So now you realize that if actually Eren and Mikasa was done the way that you wanted it to be done, the way you thought that it should be done, it actually goes against the whole themes of the story. So I hope that this video helped you understand Eren and Mikasa a bit more. Of course, as always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop them in the comments. Join the subreddit and make posts as much as you want. Hell, if you can say I watched Beluga's video, I didn't agree with it, here's why, there's tabs for that, you can always do that. As always, thanks for watching, have a great day.